Esther saves God's people. In our last story, we heard about Esther being crowned queen. One day, the king promoted a man named Haman to be the boss over all his other servants. Haman was a very proud man who wanted everyone to bow down before him. He got the king to make a law saying that everyone had to bow down to Haman whenever they saw him. But Mordecai would not bow down to Haman because he was a Jew, and he knew that it was not pleasing to God. God's laws say that we should only bow to him. When Haman heard that Mordecai would not bow down to him, he became very angry. He was mad at Mordecai, so he went to the king. This time, he got the king to make a law saying that all of the Jewish people would be killed on a certain day. When Mordecai heard about this new law, he was very sad. He went to the king's palace and spoke to his niece, Queen Esther. He told her the bad news about Haman's awful plan to get rid of all the Jews. Esther knew that she needed to go and talk with the king, but she was frightened. In those days, you were not allowed to go into the king's court unless you were called. If you did go into his court, the king had to hold his scepter out to you, or you'll be punished. Esther told Mordecai to have all the Jews in the land pray for her for 3 days, asking God to protect her when she went in to see the king. On the third day, Esther put on her royal robes and went in to see the king. When the king saw Esther, he held out his scepter to her and asked her,
"Queen Esther, what is wrong? What do you want? Ask for anything, and I will give it to you."
Esther replied,
"If it please the king, may the king and Haman come to a banquet which I have prepared for you."
The king agreed. So that night, he and Haman came to Esther's banquet. While they were eating dinner, Esther asked the king to come to another banquet the next day with Haman. So the next day, Esther gave another banquet for the king and Haman. At the end of the meal, the king again asked Esther,
"What do you want, Queen Esther? Ask whatever you want, and I will give it to you."
This time, Esther replied,
"If I have found favor in your sight, please save my life and the lives of my people. For we have been sold, and there are plans to kill all of us."
She told the king that it was Haman who made this terrible plan against the Jews. The king was very angry and sent Haman away to be punished. Then, the king gave Mordecai Haman's old job, putting him in charge of the other servants. The Jews in the land were saved from the evil plan. God used Esther to save his people. God knew the future and had a plan to save them. God knows your future and has a special plan for your life too.